Cause a bitch raw and ugly.
Girl, who you know about me? She was like, oh, I'm here for your party. What?
Bryan could be the president if he wanted to.
What's up, listeners? You just tuned in to yet another great episode of TALKBAC with your host, Bryan and Cooksey. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a podcast created for millennials to discuss some raw and uncut experiences. So take a listen. Episode starts now. Okay. You feel the vibes. Y'all felt that vibe?
I like that.
The
little bounce at
Hey!
Hey.
Had to add that flavor on them because that's what
That's
TALKBAC is all
jiggle
about.
up
It's some raw and uncut shit. On today's episode, season 2, we rocking off with some fire. You feel me? This is something I've been waiting to do for a while. The guest is very, in my opinion, I would say outspoken on certain terms. So I definitely needed their feedback on the questions in this topic of discussion. But before we really get into that, I really want them to introduce themselves, tell a little bit about themselves, and then I'll tell you all what this episode will really be about. So we're going to kick it out with my boy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is it? Yes. Just go down.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Todd. I'm a recent graduate of Tech Southern University, where I studied print journalism in the School of Communications and received my minor in radio, television, and film, and I'm currently producing my own web series.
Okay.
Nice. Hey, it's your boy Ashton. Now that your favorite segment, your ADPs, doesn't matter. So, like I said, I'm Ashton. Just graduated from Tech Southern School of Education. I'm teaching 8th grade in Houston. Just part of the greatest fraternity on earth. Part is the livest frat on the yard. So, hey, it is what it is.
Oh, wow.
Let's get it.
Okay. You want to go next? I'm up. My name is Mackenzie. I am a graduate of Texas Southern fall 2017. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated and a leaf all day, baby.
My name is Caleb Bryson Greer. Graduating this fall. In about 2 weeks, we count down, baby. We count down. Radio, television, and film. I produce, I direct, I do all of it, and that's the plan. We going big.
The guy.
I'm the guy.
All right, and it's just your boy Bryan with TALKBAC, all right, who brought all these niggas together to talk about some shit. So, as you all know how we get this shit started, we do have a question of the day. It is on the poll right now for you to go and look at it on Instagram and be sure to answer. How I'm going to kick it off with my guests right now, I'm going to actually ask them the question of the day and get their response to really kick off some shit. But before we do that, as you all know, we do drink. We love to drink on TALKBAC with Bryan A. Cooksey. I do have a shot prepared and a chant that we about to do with my guests. So if we can gather our drinks real quick, my guys. Do I need to count down or can we just hit that? 1, 2, 3. TALKBAC. We drink to relax.
Oh, you tap?
You just take that shit. Now, we took our shot. I know you ain't got a shot, but I know you got something to sip on. As my fellas start pouring their cups with a nice little punch we made, courtesy of 360 Vodka. I really, pour as you please, because you will be sipping as you need. Like I said, this conversation is something a little different. It's a part that I'm trying to really incorporate on some bigger shit. But just to give y'all a little intake, we're going to start off with this question, and then I'm going to give y'all really what this discussion is going to be about. So, fellas, as we take a sip, the word of the day, as we go through this podcast, will be black male, black man, black.
Oh.
The word black.
The word black.
So, we just go with that. But we go kick it off with this goddamn question of the day. What does mental health for a black man mean to you?
Anybody want to start?
Yeah, you ain't catch that, huh?
Yeah.
Did you catch that? I didn't see you.
Okay, we starting.
I like how y'all starting already. Shit, I low-key forgot.
Okay.
Anybody, hey,
Yeah, okay,
anybody,
okay,
let's
I
kick it
got you.
off.
Can you repeat that question one more time?
What? So the question of the day is, what does mental health for a black man mean to you? Mean to you,
To me,
especially as a black man.
It used to mean holding in a lot of pain and not expressing how I really felt in most situations. But 2020, mental health, seeing a therapist, all that stuff.
Okay.
That's it's helped me
Open
ease
up
into a
some
little
shit.
open up a little bit more, and I'm trying to fix some things. Just trying to fix some things. So
Got you.
I feel like I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. I feel like you said back then, society tried to restrict our masculinity.
yes.
Certain things we couldn't do, we couldn't express because if you did this, you're not a man.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I feel like with mental health, it's just being stable, like within doing what you want to do, basically,
Okay.
and being yourself.
Feeling free, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it simple because I'm pretty sure we can expound on it later. But I'm going
We will.
to say that mental health for black men.
Oh yeah.
Black man, okay.
Okay.
That's two.
Mental health for black men has a lot to do with self-care.
There you go.
Self-care.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that can be defined in many different ways. But I think that has a lot to do with our mental. So, yeah.
I like that. So
I think like looking at mental like black health, all that. I know we biggest celebrities, like the whole Kanye situation. Most people I feel like he was doing what he had to do, but he was trying to express himself. Then we took that as a joke,
Mm-hmm.
and then I feel like in our society we just try to brush things underneath the rug. But I just feel like when it just comes to that as a whole, we just like they're saying we've been taught we can't do or act a certain way. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and so we're gonna expound later on.
Okay. We definitely are gonna open up that can of worms. But my take on the question about what does it mean to have mental health for a black man, I believe is life. Shit. The way that a black man is treated because of the past has definitely put an intake on what's going on in the present for a black man that will shape a black man's future. And so I'm gonna drink to that.
You behind.
Yeah.
I know I
You
is.
behind. You behind.
So I'm glad that you guys kind of touched on something that we can all really touch on and go in depth with. How I want to open this up is I really want you all as men now, definitely talk about your age now, but give me where it all started. How was your upbringing in the household you lived in? The dynamic with your parents, if you have siblings, if you have, have other people, step siblings, all that good shit. Tell me, how was your dynamic growing up? But also give us a little backdrop of how old you are now with your life.
Where that brought me.
Who go first?
I got it.
Okay.
Ashton, I'm 22 years old right now. Let's just say, only boy, so that's really hard. So not really having another male figure at the time besides my father or people around my age to really just cope and understand with. And so I always had friends, to try to talk to situations, but they didn't really adjust or understand the internal situation because I have my problems. They have their problems too. I'm from Lamarck, Texas. We don't know, small town, small area. So, any suburb, not suburbs, but city, rough out there.
Different.
Very different,
Okay.
And so, let's say around 6th grade, parents got divorced. So, father, friends joke with it. I saw my dad every day at practice games, but just to have those issues that, I faced at home with my mother,
Mm-hmm.
with my sisters, I couldn't react a certain way because, he wasn't there.
Gotcha.
And that trauma, you get then having to leave that area, Lamar, and to go to a different middle school full of, Asian, white kids, then going to see black kids that didn't understand that, I'm a black kid and brushing my hair ways. Like, what is that? And you know, I promise you, there's people like brushing my hair. Like I listen to like the hood rap, all that stuff, and like they didn't appreciate being black, or like they didn't appreciate or understand why I love being black at the same time. But then like that mental health state really, depression was real. Like I didn't know what was going on at the time. Like why am I just sad all the time? Like why do I feel alone? Like I didn't know who to turn to. Like, you go to church, you say you have religion, you have God, but,
who's really there?
Like, like he's there all the time, shout out to him, But at the same time, in 7th grade, 8th grade, like during that time, which is dark, I didn't really know who to talk to. I had my cousins, but, like now, like as I've grown up, now that I'm 22, and say there's been a lot of places where, like, I'm not saying like I've reached a point of suicide or anything like that, but it's been like time when it comes to mental health where, had to find outlets, had to go out and find things on my own to express myself, even many people may not, like it. I mean, there's times where I may go back to that state, but that's how I cope with, like, the mental health. Like, I have to go out and, like, be by myself or something like that.
I like how you touched on the mental state of it being the fact that you were younger and you knew something wasn't right, but you just, kind of kept it going. What about you, Todd, Caleb?
For myself, I would say my upbringing was kind of different. Not too different from most black men.
I knew it was coming.
Man.
I'm going.
But yeah, I did not grow up with my father in the home. However, he was in my life. And the reason why I say that it was different because on both sides, my mom and my dad's side, my dad, he has 2 other kids outside of myself. So he had a son and a daughter with another woman.
Okay.
And then my mom, she also got remarried, and she had my younger sister, Jada, who I'm pretty sure all of you all know.
Shout out to Jada.
Shout out to Jada. That's my little baby.
Shout out to little sis. Shout out to little sis, man.
But yeah, the reason why I say my upbringing was different. So although I didn't grow up with my dad in the household, I grew up with a stepdad. There every night with us. I had siblings on both sides of the family. I wouldn't necessarily call them half siblings. The reason why I would say it was unique is because we all were brought up together,
Okay.
So I feel like my parents, my mom and my dad, I would say they went out of their way to make it seem like, we were all, it was normal.
Yeah,
like,
this was normal.
I've never seen them beef with each other. It was never no drama on the other side of the family. My mom took in my brothers and my sisters on the holidays, during the summers, like same thing with my stepmom. It was very copacetic. So I would say that would be my upbringing. But like most black men, the home life was a little bit unconventional compared to our white counterparts.
Gotcha. Okay. So far we got Ash, who grew up in a 2-parent household that had a divorce, and he's gonna take us through that upbringing as well after shit kind of shambled and whatnot, and both parents have to go their way. Then we got Todd, who really had I guess you could say, an open dynamic. His family was very open, kumbaya-ish with the shit. The way he explained it. I feel like they were, accepting of whatever is to come at this point. We live in our life and we're going to take care of our kids. Now we got Caleb and Mac over here. Let's see what their dynamics were.
All right. My upbringing was a little different. I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents are still married right now, currently.
That is good.
That's real
good. Yeah. Black love right there.
Black love.
We love to see it.
Black men and black love.
Yeah.
And
Black.
But